Hey guys, welcome back to this place, and if you are new, then welcome here for the very first time. I am Carmen, and today we are watching Season 5, Episode 2 of The Expanse. Now, I have seen the title of this episode, and it is called The Churn, and I happen to know that that is the name of a book that is about Amos Burton, and has like backstory or something along the lines. I don't know. People told me a lot in the comments that if I wanted to learn more about Amos, I should read The Churn. Now, I wanted to experience Amos through the show first and then go back and read the books. So I have not read The Churn, but I know that's the name of the book. So I'm kind of thinking that this episode might be heavily Amos. And I'm very scared and excited that is what this episode is going to be. So yeah, where we left off last episode is everybody is kind of doing their own thing. We have Naomi looking for her son. We have Amos going to Earth for Lydia. I assume, I don't know. We have Alex on Mars with his fam, and we have Holden on Tycho kind of learning some stuff about the protomolecule. So, Christian's on Luna trying to find Marco. Bobby is also on. I'm going to stop trying to recap every single person. I'm going to stop rambling as well because I just need to see this episode, you guys. I need to see it and learn what I can about my boy. Hopefully. Will I cry? Stay tuned.
Worry about what I am due. A tenth of all you collect.
No ties here.
And no prisoner killed without permission from the controlling faction. And I haven't given you my permission.
Who are you to tell us who we can kill?
I am Kamina Drummer. You respect my claim, or you die and become a story I tell the next captain.
Maybe that, or maybe we finish you.
Oh, no. I love her.
Go tell everyone I am in control of this area now.
Yeah, bossman.
My girl.
What is that? It's the Tynan. Place Ashford's ship. I never thought I'd actually find it.
Oh, shit. Baltimore. You guys, I'm scared.
Something I can do for you?
Maybe.
Do you recognize him?
Timothy.
Timothy.
Lydia was always waiting for you to turn up.
Timothy? Is his name Timothy?
How long were you with her?
I moved in here 10 years ago, but I knew her a little bit before that. I'm Charles.
He's not so much like
Were you good to her, Charles?
a handshaking person. You better say yes, bud.
We were good to each other, boy.
How did she die?
She spent every waking moment hoping to see you again. You show up now, and that's all you want to know? It was an aneurysm. She died because we got old and we had a lot of mileage on us.
Was she happy?
I don't know. I think so. But there was so much she kept to herself.
Sounds like someone else.
How the fuck am I gonna go on without her? I knew some of what her life was before.
She just did what she had to do to survive.
Well, you can't judge someone by what they do to make rent.
Sometimes you can.
You were in that world too. She told me some of it.
Did she?
Just that you were born into it. When you got old enough, the Johns didn't want you. So they started you working muscle.
That's what I thought.
Float to the top or sink to the bottom. Everything in the middle is a churn.
The churn.
She told me that.
She saved you?
No one really saves anyone. She taught me how to save myself.
I'm gonna miss this place.
Why do you have to leave?
Why are you leaving?
It was hers.
So?
Some kind of favor from her old life. But now that she's gone, the guy who owns it, he wants it back.
What was his name?
Eric.
Stop backing.
I haven't been completely honest with you.
I'm shocked.
There is another piece to this. It proves that someone is going after the protomolecule. Meet me and I will tell you about it. Just you.
I appreciate your candor, but there's really nothing I can do.
I think he's gonna end up going though, because...
God damn it.
You're Holden, like, of course you're gonna go. Like, why you playing? Why's her door open? That's sus. Oh shit. They saw her message. Ooh, her secret bunker of shit.
I've been buying for months. This is all black market. Avasarala is funding me.
You're working undercover for Earth to infiltrate Mars?
Avasarala is the only one I know for sure who isn't in on it. I've got a possible lead on stealth missiles.
Those are first strike weapons.
Yep.
Anyone buying one of those wants to attack a planet.
Now you see why Avasarala is funding me.
Emil Silvertear? That's a mistake.
You know him?
Yeah, flew with him on the Assander back when I was active duty. You and I are patriots, but Captain Silvertear, he's got more dust in his vein than blood. He'll talk to me.
Oh no, the average. I just need you to give him a message. Tell him Amos Burden wants to talk. Man, why don't you go fuck yourself? Please stop hitting me. Go now.
She said someone was going after the protomolecule. She had proof, and then minutes later she's grabbed. That can't be a coincidence.
My people will find her.
Your people are a part of this.
We don't know that yet.
I mean, we have a pretty good idea.
She's still on this station. Somewhere.
Where... She's definitely there.
But I will leave you with this.
I watched White Collar, so...
Senior Chief Alexander Kamal, back on Mars. What's the occasion?
It's just some personal business at the base, and I heard you were giving a lecture. I saw you were talking about the ring gates. I was out there. It'd be an honor to buy you a coffee. I can give you my first-hand account.
You pilot a stolen Martian ship for an Earther captain. I don't think we have much to say to each other.
So he's a little bit of an asshole.
First pilot to safely transit the Sol Ring, first Martian to set foot on an exoplanet.
That's just me being in the wrong place at the right time.
Everyone in this room would disagree. If you have an opening in your coffee schedule, maybe I could take you up on it? I mean, if that's not presuming.
No. No, it's not.
Babbage? Find out why he's here.
Already on it?
Okay. So he is part of it. She not just flirting. Interesting. So it's a flashback, right? The little boy. It's Amos.
If the buyer is Marco Inaros, and one of his ships destroyed the Hesami, it suggests...
Admiral Delgado, you're familiar with those reports? Do you agree with her? Was it in Inaros' ship?
50-50.
Higher than that?
Not much.
Christian, you're on Luna to do a job. It isn't this. If you'd prefer not to be involved in these discussions, you're more than welcome to submit your thoughts in writing.
Why would you ignore such a huge security risk?
That's not the way to do it. Even if I could find her, I can't track down who took her and run this at the very same time.
Guys! What'd you do?
There's a button, I pushed it.
Jesus Christ. That's really how you go through life, isn't it?
It is, though.
She's recording but can't receive.
Where the hell is she?
Could be a cargo hold. Or a shipping container.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that smart? Oh, shit. She's like a needle in a haystack.
Hold it.
Tell me you found something.
I got one that's warmer than the others. Might need an atmosphere inside.
Yeah, you might want to hurry.
It's carrying live soil. That's why it had atmosphere. This isn't the right container.
Oh, God. She might be dead then.
Amos Burton wants to talk. That's weird, right? Everyone knows Amos Burton's been dead for, what, a couple decades?
Long enough that no one's even asking who killed him anymore.
It's a common name.
Not around here, it's not. What the fuck are you doing, Timmy?
Lydia died.
We had a deal.
I'm gonna need to change that deal.
Fuck you. You got his name, and away off the planet. I made sure Lydia was taken care of her whole life. Now she's gone. You think you can come back?
I'm not back. And Lydia is not gone.
I went to the funeral.
She's got a guy. He loved her, and as long as he's here, a part of her is too. He keeps the house. Once he's died of natural causes, you can do whatever you want.
That's all this is.
Yeah.
Well, shit! You should have just said so. You scared the fuck out of me coming to my place like this.
Who's this guy, though?
You've changed.
Yeah.
What the hell happened to you out there?
He found a family.
One thing and another.
You remember when we were just street trash? Sitting on the docks, watching the shuttles leave, wishing we were on them?
I'll never forget that.
Burton's fake ID won't hold up if you get arrested down here. It'll lead back to me. I've got a lot to lose.
You did good, brother.
I love you, and I miss you, I do.
Is that his actual
Show your face in my city
brother?
again, and I'm putting you down.
It's good seeing you again, Eric.
Hold on. Is that his actual brother, or is it like, you know when people say brother? Or is it like his... I need answers.
Hold on.
I can't believe they found her in time.
When life has not treated you with kindness, doing the right thing anyway always takes strength. When you can even tell what the right thing is. I love you, Timothy.
It is. It's a
But
fucking
I'm not
flashback.
righteous. I can't teach you to be that. Maybe you and I can imagine a version of me that is good and kind and wise. I'll pretend to be her. You can pretend to love me enough to listen.
Amos, I can't.
Hey, what you doing on my dock, old man?
Don't mess with him.
What you mean no?
Don't do this. Don't do this.
Yeah, whatever, asshole.
Chrissy, I'm gonna need a favor. I'm getting ready to go back to the ship, and I'm not coming back to Earth ever. There's someone that I should see first, and I'm gonna need your help arranging it.
Who? I need to know this shit. Don't. You know, it's not like a cliffhanger, but it is upsetting to me. I loved this episode. I loved it. Okay, so you know that Amos is my ultimate fave. I completely and utterly adore him. I think that he is an incredible character, and I want to know all of the things about him. So, naturally, this episode is gonna be, you know, top tier for me because it gave me Amos, you know, like, I don't know why I'm getting emotional now. I was so proud of myself for not crying during the episode. And now I'm just thinking about it and I'm getting emotional. So we're gonna try to do this without crying. We'll see if that works. But we found out that a lot of the theories that I kind of had about Amos's life thus far are correct. He was born into life in a brothel. I am not going to go too much into that because, one, YouTube will demonetize and hide this video if I talk about the kinds of things that I think that Amos's life entailed in the brothel. 2, that's really fucking sad and I don't want to think about it. But basically, Charles said that Lydia had told him that Amos was born into that life and he aged out at a certain point, right? And which is horrifying to think about for a number of reasons, but if you've seen Game of Thrones, Meryn Trant, it's like that situation when he went to Braavos and like Arya and all of that stuff. Anyway, like I said, I don't really want to focus on that because it's horrifying and sad as fuck, and there's no way that I can talk about it. 1, without getting really emotional. 2, like it's just not something that we should talk about. Anyway, we're gonna move past that part. And then he started, he was kind of hired, like a hired gun for people, right? Because it makes sense, you know, it's Amos. And so at least that's what Charles knows of Amos from Lydia. And he also knows that his name is not Amos Burton, but Timothy or Timmy. And I don't know why, but the fact that his name is like Timmy, like people called him Timmy, like that fucking breaks my heart. Anyway, and apparently Amos is, or was, the name of a mob boss that our Amos, killed and then stole his identity, which is kind of what I thought, but I didn't know that there was this Eric player involved and he was supposed to kill, okay, the OG Amos, the mob boss, hired Amos, our Amos, to kill Eric. And then he didn't kill Eric, he killed the mob boss. Right? Is that what happened? Am I getting that right or am I wrong? I feel like that's what I got from this. And Eric and Amos obviously have a history. They go way back to when they were kids. They grew up on the streets of Baltimore together. They had a very hard life. Now, he called him brother, and in the moment I was like, oh my gosh, does Amos actually have a brother? And I still don't know, but I feel like it might have just been a colloquialism, you know, like, you know, guys call each other brother all the time. But I would be interested to see more of their dynamic and to see them talk again. There's obviously a great deal of history there and some sort of feelings there. Like Eric said, I love you. Amos chose not to kill him. I would love to see more of that dynamic and more of Lydia's dynamic, I guess. Like with Amos, we saw the kind of flashbacks that Amos was getting went from when he was a kid and he was talking to Lydia, and I'm assuming that the little flashbacks kind of pertained to Eric and Amos. No, it couldn't have been. That had to have been later. Maybe that's when she found him and started protecting him. I liked how she said that she's not righteous. She's not the type of person who likes or just automatically does the right thing, but maybe she could pretend to be that type of person, and then Amos could pretend to love her enough to listen to her, and then they could try to be better together, kind of, right? That was an interesting way to put it. Like, it's a bit fake it till you make it, right? We're gonna see if we can pretend to be these kind of people long enough to be these kind of people, right? And I think that, like Eric said, Amos has changed and he's not the same person that he was. Obviously, he was a very traumatized child living solely on survival instinct, and he lived on survival with his main drive in life being survival for a very long time, and that kind of definitely affects the way that you can interpret the world around you and form relationships with people around you and everything. So I'm really glad that Amos found Rocinante and found Holden and Naomi and Alex and this little family that he built for himself. I'm not getting emotional. I mean, I am, but I'm trying not to. But yeah, I found all of his scenes really interesting and fascinating. At the end, we saw him call Christian, who he's still calling Chrissy, and I love it. I love it. Only Amos could ever do that. And, you know, he called her and he said that there's somebody that he needs to see, but he needs her help for it. And I just, who the fuck could that be? Maybe his mom? I don't know. I don't know who it is, but I'm very curious to find out. I am very curious to find out. I loved this episode. I loved the way that Wes Chatham? Clearly, I haven't watched interviews or anything, you guys, obviously, because I don't want any spoilers. So I don't know. I just say the names how I think that they're pronounced. But I loved the way that he portrayed it. He's done an amazing job of portraying Amos thus far. And I think that this episode, he really, like, I don't know, he just, it's so good, you guys. It's so good. I love the subtlety of it, right? Like just the way that he plays. I can't talk. I can't articulate right now because I'm just very much still invested in the episode that I just watched. But just the subtlety with which that he portrays, like, someone who's been through what Amos has been through in his life and is having to return to the place where the trauma happened. You know, that's not an easy thing for people to do. That's not an easy thing for people to do. And so for Amos to do that and to do it because he cares about this person and to do it in the way that he's doing it it's just, I really like it. And I like that he's getting these kind of flashbacks to himself when he was a kid, because he's in the place where he was a kid and it's bringing up these memories that he has of being that traumatized kid in this scary place. And I don't know. I really like the way that the storyline is developing, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here. And I'm going to stop talking because I don't feel like I have anything else meaningful to add. I just really, really love learning more about Amos, even if it's really fucking sad, because, you know, it's Amos. It's not going to be super happy, but I love him, and I love learning more about him. And I could watch like a 12-hour episode of just Amos exploring Amos. And I'm really excited to read the book and to get even more context into who he is as a character. And yeah, moving on. So the next thing, hold on, let me look at my notes. The next thing that I want to talk about is, okay, Kamina, my girl Kamina. She is out here. She got her own ship. She's doing her own thing. She's being badass, and we love to see it. And she found Ashford's ship, which is interesting. Like, does she know that Ashford is gone? Does she know that Marco killed him? I want to know the extent to what she knows and what she's going to do next, going from where she is now. I kind of love her little ship of misfits. They seem like a little kind of family, sharing dinner, sharing food, you know, just, you know, be doing cute things that sort of friends or family do. And I like that for her. I want her to have good people surrounding her and to be happy and to have a life and all that stuff. So I'm interested in that. Now, I would be remiss to mention Kamina and how she is kind of trying to get people to fear her without talking about how I talked in the last episode about how I don't like the idea of fear instead of love as a good motivator for people to try to rule, right? Now, maybe it's because I'm biased and I love Kamina, but I feel like her version of it is, I want people to be afraid so they don't fuck with me, right? Whereas I feel like Marco's version of it is, I want people to be afraid of me so that I can fuck with them, if that makes sense. Like hers, I feel like, is more born of self-preservation, whereas Marco's idea of the inners fearing the belt is more so that the belt can, and him by extension really, can do what they want with impunity. And that's kind of where I see it being different. Now, of course, like I said, I am biased because I love Camina and I hate Marco. So I'm willing to admit that that could have some bearing on my feelings regarding both of them in that instance. But I feel like it's also, I know that Marco is not a good person and I don't agree with him morally or socially or anything like that, right? Whereas Camina, I know, is a good person and I agree with a lot of the things that she thinks and does. So that has bearing as well. It's not a black and white thing. It's varied based off of, you know, who people are, I guess, if any of that makes sense. All right, so the next thing that I want to talk about is Monica, Holden, Fred, and that one guy, right? So Monica sent the message to Holden that she knows that somebody's trying to go after the proto-molecule, and she's gonna tell him, and then of course that message is intercepted. She's taken to a container, attempted murdered, really, and then Fred and Holden and them rescue her. So presumably they are going to find out from her who it was and then go after them and stop them. Now, something that I did like was the one guy who has been rubbing me the wrong way for the past 2 episodes, I'll admit. But the one guy that, I don't know, he's like, he talked to Naomi and in the last episode, and he's talking to Fred in this episode. Hopefully you know who I'm talking about. Anyway, I don't know his name, but he was with Holden when they rescued her. But that guy, he said something that I thought was really cool and I liked it a lot, was that Fred can often mistake the underdog for the good guy. Like, you're rooting for the underdog because you think that they're the good guy, because otherwise why would they be the underdog when the underdog is not always the good guy, you know? And I think that Marco is a really good example of this, right? He's the underdog by all outside perspectives, right? He's a belter. He doesn't have access to the sort of weaponry or technology that an Earther or a Martian would have, yet we know that's not true. But from outside perspective, he is by far the underdog. If it's Marco and the belt versus the inners, anybody would vote the inners would win, right? But they don't have all of the facts, and Marco and the belt, at least the people with him, aren't the they are the underdog, but they aren't the good guys, you know, which is interesting. I mean, I don't think that any one planet or coalition of people is quote unquote the good guys in the Expanse, you know. I think that there's good and bad on all sides of everything, just like in real life, and that we just have to try, or we, who am I? Like, yeah, I'm a crew member of the Rocinante now. That the crew just has to, or everybody just has to try to figure out who is, what the fuck am I trying to say? They just have to try to do the best and the most good that they can. Underdog does not equal good guy. And I really like that sort of observation from that character. On Mars, we have Bobby and Alex, who is now in on Bobby and Christian's sort of plan to figure out who in the top levels of the Martian government / military is providing these weapons and various other things to the Belters. Now, Alex went to see the guy, well, they didn't really used to be friends, but they kind of like flew together back in the Martian Marine days. when Alex was a pilot. So he went to see that guy who was giving this lecture, and it was all like grand music and grand ideas, and you know, he's, you know, the good guy, and here's his idea, and here's his lecture on how great Mars is and can be and all this stuff, right? The dream of Mars, which as we know is kind of dead. But he's giving this lecture, and Alex goes to see him to try to figure out, because Bobby thinks that he is involved in the trade. He doesn't really want to talk to Alex because, you know, he's probably involved in the trade, and he's like shoos him away. And then his aide, his TA, whatever you want to call it, she kind of like makes a play of being kind of starstruck by Alex, and she gives him her number and invites him to dinner and stuff. And then we have a scene with them, her, Babbage, and Tim DeKay, I don't remember his name, on the show. They're talking, and he's like, "Oh, find out what he knows," and she's like, "Yeah, on it," you know. And so obviously they're bad, or they're hiding something. Now, whether or not they are hiding the thing that Bobby thinks that they're hiding remains to be seen, but they are very clearly hiding something based off of that exchange. So it's going to be interesting to see where that goes going forward. I don't really have too much to speculate about that because it was kind of like a quick thing, and I'm sure we'll see more later. But yeah, it was kind of fun as a white collar fan to see Tim DeKay and in The Expanse. I was not expecting it. I'm moving on. The last thing that I wanted to say really quick before I go is that Nancy Gao is like, she's being stupid, okay? Here's the thing, is like, when somebody who has vastly more experience than you in a particular area or situation is telling you something, like Christian is telling Nancy, hey, maybe we should check this out. This is kind of like suspicious. We should keep an eye on this. Like, no matter if you are being petty as fuck, which it seems like she is, you still, when the fucking planet is on the line, maybe just listen to that person. Maybe defer to the fact that they have more knowledge on that situation than you. Maybe have a little humility. Maybe, I don't know. It's just, it's frustrating to me when things like that happen. And like, I understand Nancy Gao's dislike of Christian, especially with what happened after Nancy had won and Christian sort of leaked photos and you know, made her life harder. I understand her sort of pushing back and being petty against that. But when it comes to the security of the world, I think that maybe you should like get over your pettiness and your dislike of somebody and listen to them when they're trying to tell you that something might be going on, you know? All right, you guys, I think that is pretty much all that I have to say. I did want to go back to Amos for just a second because, you know, whatever, I can't help it. I really loved, because I don't think I mentioned this earlier, his scene with Charles and just seeing him trying to connect with this man who has lost his wife and is very devastated, and seeing Amos have to try to deal with that emotion and like comfort somebody is an interesting sort of situation for Amos to be in. And I love that he was like, yeah, no, I'll take tea. You know, after that guy kind of broke down and everything, it was a little bit amusing. But I do love that Amos is doing all of this in order to protect the people that Lydia loved, right? I think it's sad that he could never come back and that she waited the rest of her life for him to come back and she didn't get to see him again. Like that's sad. But I think that it's good that Amos is back now and he's trying to do what he can to protect her husband and give him a place to stay and make sure that he's taken care of for the rest of his life. I think that is a really good thing for him to do. And I loved seeing him look at the cup that said Timothy on it. I just loved seeing Amos and learning more about him. You know, it's just, I fucking adore his character. Am I being paranoid? Okay. Did Lydia not die of natural causes? Am I being paranoid? Don't tell me. Please don't tell me. But I'm just like, the way her husband was talking about, like, she went to sleep, she was fine, and then she was gone. Like, yes, that does happen, to be fair. Like, I'm not saying that doesn't happen. That does happen in real life. But it's just a little sus, right? It's just a little sus. I don't know. Maybe I'm being paranoid. I think that I'm done. I think that I'm done talking, though. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, but only if you want to. Literally no pressure at all. If you want to see the next episode right now, you can over on Patreon, which is linked in the description down below. If you managed to watch this far, bless you. 1, you're incredible. And 2, leave a comment that says, Amos Timothy Burton has my heart. Because he does. Anyway, I'm gonna leave. Until next time. Bye, guys.